Hey guys, welcome to the first video here on Fantasy Labs for the YouTube channel. I wanted to go ahead and create a deep thought video when it comes down to specifically print on demand. And I mentioned this before when I had the other channel and I was kind of mentioning it and talking about when you create variations for designs, you specifically create variations for designs when a design sells. When you create a design and you have certain tags associated with that design, no matter what platform it's on, assuming that it sells, then that means you know you have some sort of winning combination between a detail of the design. It could be the title, it could be the encapsulation of it, meaning the concept of the design, but also with the tags, right? That specific combination that you created wins. So how do we create variations for designs that actually still help us profit more? And the way to do that is you'll see here now. So here we made a bunch of different variations of this design with literally almost no change. And I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. This is a Los Angeles, California design. Very, very simple with a flower here. All right, let's go ahead and scroll down. This is another example. Now this is an example of a design that is completely different, but yet is the exact same at the same time. Sort of a polarization, or even an opposite, right? The text is the same, right? But the color is different, the fonts are different, and the icon is different, the image is different. And the demographic that would purchase this most times are very different than the demographic that would purchase this. I don't think people would disagree with me. I think most would agree. Let's go ahead and scroll down and let's look at a small difference. Let's take a look at this design. The meaning behind this design and this design, although are exact the same, still have yet different aspects to it. Look at the different icon, and I'll actually go ahead and highlight this, copy it, and paste it right here under this. And let's just drag it below. Although they're similar, very similar, right? They mean the same things, Los Angeles, California. The vibe now instantly changes because of the icon, the image at the top, right? Think of the type of person that would buy one of these versus somebody who would buy one of these. These are small variations, but they change the demographic or the consumer who's buying. And that's the thing that makes the difference with variations. I think a lot of people think about the actual design, but that's the wrong way of thinking about it. If you want to think about variations, think about who's going to buy as opposed to the design itself. And the demographic is different, right? So somebody who's a surfer might buy this, but somebody who's a surfer might not buy this. And if a surfer won't buy this design, right? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if somebody who's specifically a surfer, let's just say doesn't buy this design, by definition, that means somebody else will be willing to buy it. Let's go ahead and look at another example. This is the exact same design, same colors. Only thing that's different is the font and the icon. Once again, this is yet again another example. Let's go ahead and highlight this and let's place it amongst these. So first, let's move this. Let's move this. Maybe even make this a little bit smaller just so we can get everything to fit. And let's break this down too, right? So we have this, and then we have this. And let's make this smaller so it fits. And you can kind of see now the differences between the designs. Once again, very, very similar, maybe about 90% similar. The only difference is the colors are the same, the font is different, and the icons are different. Once again, different demographics for different folks. Maybe somebody who wanted to buy a souvenir at California but forgot to, goes on, Los Angeles, California, goes online and buys this design. Maybe somebody who's a local surfer buys this design. You can't really tell who's going to buy what, right? But you can kind of understand that the demographics are different. Let's go ahead and go to a different design. Look at this design. This design now encapsulates different colors, different fonts, right? Different style. This is just food for thought, something to think about. That these styles that make the design different, although the design, the concept is exactly the same, right? Let's go ahead and scroll down. Look at this design. This design is drastically different than that of something like this, right? If we paste it here and just compare, right? Although they're the same text, they're the same, basically pretty much everything is the same. The font is different, and the font speaks volumes to the differences in the design. Let's just go ahead and now compare this design to just simply this design, right? If we add just the text, right? If we remove the icon, right? Versus the text without the icon. So text with the icon versus just text alone or font alone. They're different. They do seem similar to an untrained eye, but think once again, small differences can lead to big changes in demographic, right? Let's go ahead and scroll down. This is also a different, let's see, is this the same? Yep, this is the exact same. Let's go ahead and delete this. This is another design, the exact same. The only difference is this is capitalized as opposed to this, right? Maybe a little bit different of a vibe. Maybe something is different there. And we could actually see the difference between this and this by just copying and pasting and comparing the visual aspect of it. Let's go ahead and enlarge this here so we can see that comparison. All right. Let's see here. There we go. Comparison. Let's compare. And once again, the text is the same. Everything is the same on these levels. But if we take a design like this and compare it to something like this, you see how drastic the difference is of now the design? Maybe somebody might walk into a store and say, you know what, I like this one over this one. Or somebody else might want this one over that one, right? For me, I really don't care who chooses what. And that doesn't matter. The point is that all essentially print-on-demand assets that you upload to whatever site you're doing, whether it's your own private website, whether it's Redbubble, whether it's TeePublic, whether it's Zazzle, whether it's Etsy, whether it's Amazon, Merch by Amazon, the list goes on and on and on of the different websites, and there will be more that come into play. But each single design is an asset. So sometimes changing small details to a design can change the demographic, change the need of the design, the customer, change the emotion that lies within the design, and more importantly, changes your income. Somebody could look and say, you know what, I really like this one, and I like this one, and I'll buy both. Somebody might not. But the point is that the more you think about it like a web mentality, right? Or like a net mentality, rather. The more design, let's say your income potential represents a net. The more designs you create, even if they're extremely similar, kind of like these designs, right? The more you create, the more you upload, the more you're adding to that net, the more you're building, so that once that net is cast, aka when somebody's searching for a design and yours comes into their vision, you have a higher chance now of getting that sale. This is just a different way of me explaining the concept where I made a video where I literally just came out and said to people, you want to make more money? Just create more variations of designs that already sell. Why do I say that? I say that because there is a winning formula that you have now created, right? So if you're on Redbubble and you have a design that's sold, you have no other designs that sold but just one. Go look at that design and see what made that design special, right? And then take the combination of tags, title, literally duplicate it, but take the design and make a small change. It could be a small change in font. It could be a small change in color. It could be a small change in symbol. It could make a small change in any regard whatsoever. But that small change can speak volumes when it's purchased specifically to the customer. Because the customer at the end of the day has preferences. And when they purchase through their eyes. They look at something and they say, you know what, I like that. This design is very similar to the one above it. The only difference is this text is larger, right? The font size is larger, and it has the circle effect here. The bottom is all capital, and it's a different font. Once again, somebody might look at this one, comparing it to this, right, and say, you know what, I prefer this one over that one. Somebody else might prefer this one over this one. The point is that it doesn't matter what you enjoy, because at the end of the day, the customer is going to purchase. I don't say that to insult. I just say that, for reality's purposes, right? So if you want to boost your income, boost it through variation. Sometimes this doesn't even need creativity. You could just go based on a checklist. Did I switch up the font? Did I switch up the text? Did I switch up whatever? And just lay a checklist and then work on that. Obviously, every design is different, but this is just a little, once again, food for thought type video. And I remember specifically last year when I would tell people just create variations of the current designs that are already winning. People would say, well, that doesn't work on Redbubble, or that doesn't work on X and Y and Z site because you're just making a bunch of garbage and copying and blah, 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 blah. The platform has millions upon millions upon millions of designs. If you think that your extra 10, 20 variations of a certain design is going to crash the website, it's going to cause the website to go downhill, you think it's going to cause somebody to not buy your product, you're fooling yourself. You're not aware, right? But at the end of the day, look at things from a long-term perspective. Every design that you upload has a value. It could maybe sell once in all of your lifetime. It still has some sort of value. It might sell twice. It might sell 15 times. It might sell 0 times, but it might lead the customer to potentially see another design that you may have. So for example, if somebody searches for Los Angeles, California t-shirt design, they see this design, maybe catches their attention, they click on it, but then in the recommended, right, they see other designs that you've created. And the other designs, maybe they enjoy that better, and they decide to buy those other designs instead of the one that they first saw. That could be a design that never sells, but it might lead to other designs that sell and do produce income. So with that being said, don't be afraid of experimenting, trying new things, and don't be afraid to quote-unquote look like a spammer, because you're not spamming. You're creating different designs. In the eye of an amateur, the amateur will look and say, all of these are the same. They might have the exact same text. And indeed, all of these designs are the same, but there are elements that make them different. And with that small difference, makes all the difference. It makes all the difference that's needed to get the extra sales, because each design applies to different demographics based on their own preferences. All right, guys, hopefully this video was a good food for thought type video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. Bye.